it stop? How dare you dare me to draw the line? You got my body, now you want my soul. Don't even think about it, say no go. 'Cause I'll do anything that you want me to do. And I'll do anything that you want me to do. But I can't go for that. No, no can do. No, I can't go for that. No, no can do. No, I can't go for that. No can do. No, I can't go for that. I can't go for being twice as nice. I can't go for repeating the same old line. Use the body, now you want my soul. Oh, forget about it, say no go. 'Cause I'll do anything that you want me to do. Now I do almost anything that you want me to do. But I can't go for that. No, no can do. No, I can't go for that. No, no can do. I can't go for that. No can do. No, I can't go for that. 'Cause I'll do anything that you want me to do. Now I do almost anything that you want me to do. But I can't go for that. No, no can do. No, I can't go for that. No, no can do. I can't go for that. No, no can do. No, I can't go for that.
Oh, I was totally saying, "Won't you in? You do."
That was for you, Adam. I know you love it. I picked out my songs very carefully.
Thank God people can't hear me when you're singing, Reese Galido. I was telling Suze, we're so excited to have you, not just because you're a phenomenally talented singer and songwriter, but you are just such a fun hang. No matter what you're saying.
I can say the same thing about you.
Well, this is the Coast Extra Happy Hour. We're happy that you're with us. I'm Adam Montiel from
Extra
Up in the Morning. Extra happy. Susan Luz is here hanging out. What's up, Suze?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
I really got to thank you, because this has a whole lot of like things and tickers and scrolls and pictures are going to come up. This is going to be like watching fun CNN. You know what I mean? So you really have, and Suze is literally doing all that. And I really asked her, because I don't have another person here with me, that like, I want you to be as involved as possible too. So Suze is doing double duty. She's always the bomb. So we got Suze, we got Reese, and look at this, Monica Villacana from Refined Distillery. How the heck are you?
We're doing great. It's Friday afternoon.
Adam.
I know. How are you, Monica? I just got called out for my speaker being on. You know why, Sue? Because I had Montel Jordan all queued up. It's the part where everyone's all loud and and I was gonna be like, "Hey, everyone, be quiet." And then here's what I was gonna do. I was like, "Okay, quiet, quiet." That's what I was going to do, and then my friend Jeff totally ruined all of it by calling me. Monica, it is so good to see you. It's been we talked to Alex on the morning show earlier this week. You guys are open now. People can come up by appointment, taste with you. You were allowing people to come pick up this beautiful cocktail pack that we're going to go through and have fun with. So thank you so much for partnering up with us for this extra happy hour.
Oh, I love it. And there's a reason why Alex was talking to you the other morning, is because I was not up in Adam.
That is true. We had him on pretty early. Evan Bishop is here. He is also from Refined. He is the onboard mixologist. Evan, I'm so excited because we have some really cool pictures of where you get to work. And I would love for you to explain how this incredibly ocularly stimulating thing, this distillery, this distilling machine, whatever you call it. It looks like a time machine, but it's so beautiful. And you're going to be making some cocktails with us today. So thank you so much for being here once again, Evan.
Oh, so excited to be back again. And yeah, it's a blast. You know, my background was as a bartender. So I knew the back end of how to make a cocktail, but I didn't know the front end of how you turn a fermentation source into alcohol. So everything I know on that end came from Alex and Monica once I started working with them over at Refined.
Well, we're going to have fun here. We're going to talk a little smack. It's Friday. We're just going to let loose. No rules. I definitely want to go through some of the beautiful spirits that Refined makes, even figure out how we can turn them into some pretty fun and easy cocktails. We were talking about some stories on the show this week. We're like, heck, we're buying more booze. We're drinking more at home. I mean, this is a thing, Monica, and I'm sure you are not a stranger to it. Not because you're drinking all the time at home, but because you're
I'll tell you, 5 o'clock comes a lot earlier for most people in the last 4 months. So yes, it has definitely become a thing.
So with this, and people can come up, I kind of want to lay out first, you are open right now and you are letting people taste there. How does someone come up to Refined in Paso and taste, of course, the Villicana wines? You guys were one of the first like 20 wineries here. I mean, you guys are OG, but then also the spirits, and you were the first distiller in the game.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you guys are OG on that sense too.
Yes, kind of crazy. I guess we're a little, I don't know, ahead of the step here, but we are open. We've been open for about a month. The thing, it's a lot different. Things look a lot different, but I think the experience is actually probably a little bit better. Now you have to have reservations in order to come taste, and which, you know, for the consumer, it's a little bit harder because they're used to just going on a whim and popping in here and popping in there. However, by having the reservation, we have dramatically lessened our capacity. And so the experience is more one-on-one. And so you're actually in a room with Evan or myself or someone from my staff talking one-on-one with them, obviously with all the protocols and everything like that. But we found that the experience is actually a lot better. So come on up. We're open Thursday through Sunday. Just go on to refinedistillery.com, hit the visit section button, and reservation. So it's awesome.
You know what's interesting? I was reading an article actually this week talking about the drinking habits of different demographics, specifically generations. How I'm in Gen X. I'm like right on the border, the younger side of Gen X. There's millennials, there's Gen Z. The newer drinking generations are vastly more interested in trying new things and learning the story behind what they're consuming.
So when we launched, it's excellent because when we launched Refined Distillery, as you said, we were the first distillery in the Central Coast. It was back in 2011. We didn't really know what to expect. We assumed that our consumer was going to be our same wine consumer. It was going to be that mid 50 to mid 60 that was coming in. They're drinking the wines that they're going to love the spirits. And what we saw was mind-boggling. What it was the millennial generation that was coming in, and they were specifically looking at it. But it makes total sense because this is the first generation that's actually cared about what they put in their body and what they eat. I mean, I was eating lean cuisines at their age. They would not do that. You know? It's like no processed. It's all fresh. It's all local. So it made sense with their environmental, prowess, that they were looking for craft spirits. So it was mind-boggling. So yeah, we're looking at 35 under, and then also boomers. So the millennials and the boomers match up. You've got your spirit drinkers in that mid group, which is where a lot of us are, is still the wine group that's starting to kind of dabble in the spirits a little bit. But the key thing that draws it all together is craft. People want small crafted. They don't want, to know that if they go today and buy one bottle, that in 5 years it's going to be the exact same bottle. They want to taste the difference batch to batch. It's like in wine, you want to taste the difference from vintage to vintage. So people are embracing it. I think that's why craft spirits is going through the roof right now, is because they know that there's more than just the big guys out there. But it's all
from a new school question to an old school question, there were a lot of laws, like literally that dated back to Prohibition. They're called Tide House laws that really were tying your hands in the beginning in 2011. What has eased, and how has the government looked at, wow, there's a lot of craft distilleries in Paso and California around the nation. We got to figure out a way where they can reach their customers just like wineries can.
Yeah, and California is actually, believe it or not, behind the 8 ball on that. Oregon, New York, and Washington and Colorado are way ahead of the game. But yeah, getting into distilling is actually very difficult because of the old Prohibition laws. However, as they started loosening, and it just came with more and more small craft distilleries banding together, the group of about 10 of us in 2012 that all pitched in and band in and put money together to start going to Sacramento to say, hey, you know, we're being locked out. You know, we cannot make our spirits and sell our spirits like everybody else can. We need help. And after several years, you know, the word started getting out, and laws started lessening, which is why you're seeing more and more distilleries in California, which is fabulous.
Amen to that. Amen to that. Monica Delicana, we also got Evan. Now, before we get into, we're going to get into the spirits and also the first cocktail in a second. I kind of want to go around the room here and talk about what is our go-to cocktail. What is like our favorite cocktail? Reese, we'll start with you. If you got to go to something, what is it?
If it's summer out, I'm having a gin and tonic, and if it's colder out or if it's nighttime, I'm having a very, very tasty single malt scotch.
Ooh.
I don't know if that's a cocktail because I'm just mixing it with itself.
Yeah, right. I love it. Suze?
Honestly, this summer I've been super getting into mezcal, and so I've been working on a lot of citrusy, fruity, margarita stuff. I was telling Evan right before we came on, because I've been checking in with Evan on my cocktails, and he's like, I got thumbs up, so I'm stoked. But I do a watermelon mezcal margarita that's been super
Nice.
and then one with grapefruit and mezcal too. So
we're gonna go from Sousa Luz to Sousa Lush. I love it.
It's always been Sousa Lush. Hello,
Monica. What is your go-to cocktail?
I love gin cocktails. Those seem to be my favorites. So any of your classic vodka cocktails that people generally use vodka with, I always substitute out with gin. So I can go something as Reese said, the gin and tonics, but I actually like Dominique's Root Elixir sodas. I love the gin with the grapefruit jalapeno soda. It's awesome because it's like a gin and tonic, but it's got a little spice, a little kick, a little bit more there without all that much sugar in it. So that's my summertime go-to.
Evan, what do you think, my man?
Again, as Monica said, gin, it's kind of like you take vodka and you substitute gin in, you just add complexity to a cocktail. So 90% of the time you take a vodka cocktail and gin is my go-to. Gin gimlets, kind of a classic for me.
Oh, yeah.
Super simple, lime juice, simple syrup gin. Aviation is another great one. And I like what Reese did. I'm going to go with the winter cocktail, either a whiskey sour or a Boulevardier.
I love that.
That's a good one. It's interesting because, I like a Manhattan. A Manhattan is my go-to. If I can find a good Manhattan where the bartender's not going to shake it right in front of me and then charge me $20 for it. No, it's so cool. I love that we're doing this Coast Extra Happy Hour. We got to do this. I'm already looking forward to our next one. Let's get into the spirits and the cocktails. Monica, what do you want to start with first?
Okay, so what I wanted to do, first of all, as you mentioned, we have these little kits. So next time we do this, Adam, we have these for sale at the distillery where you can get a booze kit that shows you all the stuff that we're going to be tasting.
I want to do a YouTube unboxing. They have videos where you unbox. I love it.
Oops. But it's fun. So you can go and you can taste through everything and sample everything with it. So what I was going to do is just basically, because it's summertime, I was going to start with vodka. And basically, if, talk to you about how Refine got started. As you mentioned, Alex and I were making wine in Paso since '93. I know we don't look that old, but we have.
No, but by the fact that you brought that up really quick, Suzanne, go to that picture that I gave you earlier.
Oh,
the picture of Alex and Monica. First of
By
all,
the way, I just put a link up for the tasting kit in the chat. So if you guys are, wondering about that.
Monica,
yeah.
They don't age, right, Adam? Is that what you're
no,
getting?
I've always called Alex like the Dick Clark of the wine business, but if these two are not the most good-looking, the best-looking couple you've ever seen, go to the other one. God, Alex is so handsome. Monica, you are so hot. I don't understand. Your
We
kids
haven't even started drinking yet.
Oh my god! Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you had like older kids. My bad. Sorry. I'm just saying they're going to be having to fight, pursuers off with a stick. You are.
This is maybe a little niche, but when I was looking at this picture of Monica earlier, I do this YouTube yoga with Adrian, and you look like you guys could be related. You'll have to look her up later. I should have grabbed a picture of her, but you look like yoga with Adrian.
So after this, we're gonna do a little yoga, a little downward dog.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
we're gonna do a wine like yearbook. Alex and Monica are best couple. They're best looking couple.
Hopefully next time I'll bring a picture of Alex's senior high school picture. I swear to God, I thought he was like in 6th grade when I first saw it. I was like, what is that? That's not even right,
I love it. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Well, I did, but please go ahead.
Yeah. Back again.
Yeah.
So, I was going to say back to the spirits. So anyway, in early 2000s, Alex and I, when we were making the wines, what was happening is when we were making our red wine, we'd take a percentage of the free run juice. So we'd harvest, bring the grapes here, crush it, the free run juice would come out. And in order to get a little bit more color and concentration, flavor concentration, we'd actually extract a percentage of that free run juice, set it aside, and then start making our red wine. And so what we were finding is that we were actually, depending on the year, we were taking out between 10 and 30% of our meticulously farmed vineyard, and it was just going down the drain because we had no other use for it. And it was just kind of like the juice that was being sacrificed, but it was beautiful juice. And because, we farm our vineyard and we do all the winemaking, we were like, oh my gosh, it's like dollar bills going down the drain. It's like, no, there's got to be something we can do with it. And so after years of trying to figure out, like, should we make juice? Should we do, this? Should we do that? We came across actually Ciroc vodka, and on it says it's grape-based. And we're like, what? I thought vodka was potato-based. And sure enough, after a lot of research, we found out that vodka is anything that's fermentable. You can just, as long as you distill it to a certain level, it turns into vodka. The majority of the world's vodka is grain-based because it's easy to grow, it's inexpensive to grow. But surprisingly, 5% of the world's vodkas are grape-based. And so it was that the alarms kind of went off. It was like, oh my gosh, we're sitting on a gold mine here. We have all of this juice. We're doing this technique of bleeding off the wines. A lot of other wineries here are doing it. We can capture this and distill it. And that's when the lights went off for us. And we were like, oh my gosh. So that's how Refined basically got started. The name Refined is finding a reuse and refining it into spirits. So it's not like, ooh, it's so refined. It's no, right. It literally talks about the method of what we're doing. So the cool thing about this, and maybe this is why the millennials really attract to it though, is that we're taking something that literally was going to be discarded down the drain, not because of quality reasons, it's just we didn't have a use for, and we're turning it into another luxury product. And to just give you kind of an idea, last year we were able to save the equivalent of a 60-acre vineyard through Refined. So if you think about standing in the middle of a vineyard, 60 acres, looking around, all the fuel, the water, and the manpower that goes into farm that, we were actually able to recapture it and turn it into Refined. And so that's kind of the story of how we got started. So if you guys want to open your little vodka bottle and pour yourself a little sip, we can kind of do a little virtual tasting on it.
These are so cute.
What is so cute?
Yeah, they're all adorable all together, nestled in that little box.
What is everyone sipping out of? Is everyone sipping out of something tasteful? Or Evan, are you drinking out of the bottle? What are you doing, Evan? What is everyone? Oh, look at you guys!
Straight out of the bottle, Adam. It's a Friday afternoon, right?
I got this
drink scotch out of these.
Shot glass in Reno from a bar. The bar is called Nasty.
What does it say?
Nice.
Oh.
What did it say?
It's a little Irish bar that we stumbled upon when we were doing our road trip last year in Reno. It's called Filthy McNasty. And I thought, I like the paradox. I like to put my fine spirits in the most ridiculous.
Classy. It's classy. I love it.
You're not going to be able to then, Adam, do the first thing I wanted to suggest before Monica starts talking about it. And this is something that I think almost all of us in the distillery do when we have guests is, if you kind of swirl your glass a little bit, you get legs like you see in a glass of wine. And that's the first thing that really makes red wine grape-based vodka so unique from grain or potato-based, is that viscosity. So if you're used to swirling a glass of wine and looking at the legs dripping down, you think about a traditional vodka, typically they kind of sheet off the glass and just evaporate. Yeah. That's why they burn so much on the palate. Because of the glycerol, it's going to kind of land on the palate and just carry flavors across the palate instead of giving you that real burn.
You know, Alex was the first one to teach me about glycerol, and not only does it have that viscosity as it's running down your clear glass, but I think when we taste it, as some of us are now, I think it really contributes to that mouthfeel, and you get that mouthfeel that carries in all the cocktails, and it carries all the way with it. So a grape-based vodka that has that glycerol really offers a mouthfeel that you won't get from any other vodka.
Also, Monica, I mean, this smells so good. Like, it just has a lot of character in it. I don't think I would, sit and experience vodka in this way, but it definitely adds to it.
So yeah, it's interesting because as the craft movement's gone, I saw Wine and Enthusiast had an article that says, think about vodka totally different. And she did 5 different vodkas lined up that were all craft, and they all had their little bit of taste nuance, where normal vodka is so just distilled and everything's taken out of it and it's so evaporative on your mouth that it's not interesting. But these craft vodkas are actually interesting. And it's not just any grape-based vodka, but these are made from ripe red wine grapes going to make 90+ point wines. And so they're farmed extremely well. They have that nice viscosity to it. And so it makes a big difference. And so when you sip it, it wraps and it coats your mouth, and it gives you a nice finish, and it doesn't evaporate. So for mixologists, you squeeze a little bit of whatever in there, and we'll talk about that later. It just makes for a really nice, well-rounded cocktail. So, and it's enjoyable to drink. So I think we'll just, Evan, do you want to get going on the first cocktail so they can try it?
Everybody have their first cocktail ready?
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Hey, Adam, your friend Tony is on. Did you want to talk to them? He has the vodka?
Tony Bennett. Well, no, Tony Bennett is very experienced with refined vodka. Let's bring him on. And Andrew Brune. What?
Hey, Andrew. How's it going, guys?
It's funny because these are two of the best mixologists around. Like, I look at like Josh Christensen, I look at like a Tony Bennett, I look at a Brune. These guys are just like where it's at. Now, both of these guys had beautiful gigs running beautiful bars, but now have decided to team up together. We're going to talk in a minute what they're doing and where they're doing it in downtown Pasco. But gentlemen, thanks for being here. And in a minute, because I want to prep you on this, I want you to talk about what you like about refining in a second. Evan, let's continue putting this cocktail together. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm stoked that Adam and Tony are on as well. So, all right. So the first cocktail we're doing is Iconic Grapefruit. This is a mixer that we got out of it's Phoenix, right, Monica?
Yes, Phoenix. Yeah.
So Monica can talk more about the company that's making this, but we're always looking when we're doing our cocktail clubs at trying to find great mixers that make an easy cocktail to make at home, something that will approach what Andrew and Tony are making. But easy, that's the idea, is that we found a lot of our guests that were enjoying the spirits just didn't have the back bar at home and didn't necessarily know how to make a cocktail once they got the spirit home. So our objective was finding the best small craft mixers that would show off the spirits. So for this one, it's kind of a classic sour. We're going to do 2 parts of the vodka with 1 part of the Iconic. And I'm using my cap for my shaker as my jigger.
Yeah, thank you for that tip behind the scenes. That saved my cocktail life today.
What did you do?
Yeah, it's just easy, quick fix on that.
I was like, I don't really have a jigger. What am I going to measure with? And he's like, just do like portions with your cap. So 3/4 of this of the lime juice, and then 1 ounce of the grapefruit mixer, and 2 ounces of 2 of the capfuls.
I had this cocktail like tool kit that I got from my friend Michelle, and it finally is getting use because measurement. But it is like beer with, yeah.
I think it's so awesome.
So I'm using it. It's getting used. Shout out to Michelle and Danny. Thank you guys.
You were talking about margaritas earlier.
Did you get some rosemary?
I'm sorry?
Oh, the rosemary.
Don't forget your rosemary, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
I literally have a whole bush of it behind me, but I love this. Oh, that was so nice.
Sid was talking about margaritas earlier. We're getting a little bit of the salt rim there to give that savory aspect to it. So another great kind of summertime.
Yeah. You know what I did with my margarita salt rim is I did a chili powder salt.
Yeah. Like a bit of tagine or something that you can put on the edge of it. Yeah.
I straight just did like chili powder, and then I tried to up my game, and I got some ancho chili powder for the salt.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, I'm sure that was great. But yeah, this you can see it's got that real soft, full mouthfeel that Monica was talking about. The flavor lingers on the palate just because of the body of the vodka. And yeah, super simple. Like I say, kind of a classic sour in the sense that you're going to go 2 parts of your spirit, 1 part of your mixer, and then we've got 1.5 parts of the citrus on that. Yeah, there's the recipe card.
I love it. It's awesome. We were seeing people in the comment section say that they're putting it together. I love it.
Yeah, this is one of the cocktails we did in our summer cocktail club shipment this year.
And we'll talk later on before we get out of here about how you can get part of the cocktail club. Let me ask you, Tony Bennett, Andrew Brune, what is it about? I mean, you guys, you work with all kinds of spirits, and now in 2020, all kinds of local spirits. What is it about Refined that really sets it apart for you gentlemen? Kind of both chime in, because you guys are both interesting and different in your craft as mixologists as well.
I'll let you go first. All right. What's up, guys? Tony here. I mean, honestly, if I was to kind of chase the roots back to what I love about Refined, they kind of were the forefront runners of everything we've seen in distillation in our county. Like this was the beginnings of when we saw locally distilled grape spirits. And Monica, I heard you mention earlier that there's 5% of grape distillate vodka in the world, and it's true. There's a lot of neutral grain stuff, and you've got companies like Tito's that jump on board and claim the gluten-free, and it's smart marketing, but realistically, like 75% of vodkas are done that way. And then, Adam, I heard you mention glycerol earlier, and like you look at the regs that are on this and things like that. To me, that is what allows something to stick to your palate and not be super cloying and playful. It's something that enhances the mouthfeel, the flavor profiles that linger and that you get, and it's just more dynamics without having to add additional ingredients. And that's a very powerful thing when you take your main ingredient and you don't have to enhance it to make those things linger. And it's clean. Like Drew and I both poured a little bit of the Refined vodka to sip on when we hopped on the call with you guys. And we're carrying a bunch of the products in the new bar, so that was.
Thank you.
Start with that.
Nice.
So being big on the newsletter and the program. Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
It's our favorite. So by the way,
They don't mess around with the 100 ml bottle.
the big boys.
Yeah, big boy size. Andrew, let me ask you. It's good to see you, my man. Andrew's one of these guys like you, Tony, and like some of my favorite mixologists, where I can just literally tell him the mood I'm in. He's like, "Stop it, got you," and he'll go in back and be like, hey, "He puts something magnificent together." What is it about Refined that you are into, Andrew? And then let's get into after that the new project that you guys are about, because Downtown Paso is never going to be the same with the acumen of this new place.
Yeah, I mean, every time I've used Refined, they make it super easy for us to kind of, for the bartenders to play with and mix that in with different cocktails. Like Tony said, it is a very cleaner spirit, and it lingers, but it's not a bad lingering feel. It's just enough to feel them there. and it makes it easy for me to use fresh ingredients to mix with their spirits. So yeah, just easy for me to work with behind the bar, I would say.
I love it.
And these two have been huge supporters of craft spirits and local spirits from the beginning. I mean, at a time when Alex and I were going out and people were like, what? There's local spirits? Nobody wants that. These two guys jumped on board really, really fast because they do all natural and all local and small batch stuff. So they've been huge supporters of not just Refined, but the entire distillery trail and all the distilleries here. Awesome.
The
Thanks.
local movement. Now let's the Alchemist Garden is opening up in the old Via Creek location, downtown Paso, primo locale, and
Can't drop the VC no more.
sorry, yeah. Well, whatever. That's all that matters. What is going to be the feel? Give me a minute because we're going to get some music from Reese in a second, and we're going to get into some more of these spirits. But I really want to know what is going to be the feel of the Alchemist Garden, food, drink. What are we talking about here, and when is it going to open?
Side note: your logo is dope.
Yeah, mine is amazing.
I mean, conceptually, the entire concept and program came from not like something that we just wanted to like throw out there. It came from all of us sitting on the beach in Puerto Rico at Tails on Tour. It was like we went to the big the hurricane relief Tails after Maria, and that's where Alexandra is from, the other partners. So you guys know, like there's a total of 4 of us as the key players that are inside, and then we have one additional partner that's a family friend involved in the program and loves food, and from that whole concept stems what we don't have here, like what we all chase and love without having to fly halfway across the world to Spain, like late night food and clean eats where you feel satiated but not heavy, and then cocktails to pair with those. And the cocktail is the forefront, but let's be honest, like we all like to eat as we drink, and we appreciate food, but like cocktails are independent passion. So finding a way to bridge that gap and bring it together, like we can say, like off the bat, opening date, we're still just kind of at the mercy of what's happening at the moment.
Yeah.
But we're very, very spirits up, and we're all smiles. We're working hard. We're excited for it. And, we're going to be open till 12 o'clock every day of the week, like for food. Like full sit down to come get dinner at 11:30 with a party of like 80 you guys after you go to a show at the fair. You can come get dinner at our restaurant at 11:30 at night, and it'll be the owners that are.
Wait, hold on. What the fair? What is that? I don't understand.
2021.
It's been a tough year. So the fact that you guys are putting your God-given talents together and your local connection, I know that both of you gentlemen love this area so much and you love the local movement here. So the fact that you and your sweethearts and your partners who also have their own individual talents in the local spread, it's so cool. I cannot wait to talk more and learn more about the Alchemist Garden and what its ideology is going to be and the vibe that it's going to create. It's going to be something special. I will be definitely a fan of it and a part of it. This is a lot of fun. Monica, I'm dying to get into either we're going to get into a song from Reese, but I want to know what is the next cocktail or spirit we're going to talk about next.
The next one is going to be the cucumber vodka.
Ooh.
Sweet.
And this is why farmers markets, when it's hard to find cucumbers, it's because Alex and Monica have taken them.
We have them all. Just come over here. We'll give them to you.
Love it.
I want to say thank you to Andrew, and of course Tony. When I told Monica that Tony Bennett was going to be on the show, I have to admit she was like, "Oh my God, how the hell did you get Tony Bennett? Not that Tony Bennett." Our Tony.
I know, Tony.
If you guys want to hang backstage for a minute, Reese is going to sing. You're more than welcome to. If you got to bounce, I totally get it. I would love to hang out with you guys again, but I do want to thank you right now for doing this with us.
Yeah, and good luck to you guys on opening. I mean, look at the palettes of the 3 of you. You guys have great palettes, and the fact that all 3 of you are working together is amazing. So good luck.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm there opening night for sure. Great seeing you guys.
Me too.
Thanks, guys. Come be our first judges.
Nice.
I'm down to be judgmental, my man. I'm down.
We'll do another like extra happy hour just in person at the
But
Alchemist
it's like
Garden.
both of these dudes have never. I mean, I never. First of all, I've been to Allegretto a million times when Bruin was there, and like I would come up and just be like, I'd say like one syllable to him, and be like, "Shut up, got you," and come up with something that was so incredible with like this fixture and that. I saw Tony put together immaculate finished craft cocktails for thousands of people at the Mac and Cheese Fest. This guy was unreal in what he was able to put together. And then, of course, you remember his days. You give him just one-on-one time and a few minutes. Again, just like Andrew, this guy will put together something nuts. The fact these guys stood under the same roof, within the same four walls. Again, Paso. I've been telling Paso for a long time, need to elevate its downtown game. LPC came. LPC sick. There's a lot going down there that's sick. This is raising Paso's game. So thank you for doing it. Can't wait to talk to you soon, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I love it. All right, Reese, let's sing another song. You are so fantastic. I want a little vibe from you.
Sure. Here's a little tune by Alan Stone. I can't stop the rain, but I will keep you dry. When the shore feels far away, I'll be by your side. When the storms arise, I will shelter you. 'Cause when your sky is gray, I will give you blue. I can move no mountains. I am just a man, and I can't undo what's happening, but I will understand. And I can't work no miracles, but I'll do what I can do. 'Cause when your sky is gray, I will give you blue. I can't move no mountains. I am just a man, and I can't undo what's happening, but I will understand. And I can't work no miracles, but I'll do what I can do. So when your sky is gray, I will give you blue. When your sky is gray, I will give you blue. Oh, when your sky is gray, I will give you blue.
Oh my God, Reese. You know what I love about
That's
you? First of all, your voice is so damn pretty, but when you smile, and I feel you're smiling at me, so thank you for smiling right at me.
Yeah, I am smiling at you, Adam.
I was editing an interview recently of Hank Donatoni. He's like 85 years old, done 50-something harvests in Paso. This guy's old school. If you've ever met Hank Donatoni, and maybe Monica has, he has a smile when he finishes talking to you that just like makes you feel so special, and like he lights up. You have a smile like that. Your smile and what you do when you sing is so special, and I love that. Is that the vibrato?
Hey man, I'm just trying to put the vibes through the internet right now. You know, right now music is what's connecting me to my people.
As a singer, how do you master the vibrato? How do you do that?
There's a lot of talk about technique, but honestly, I feel like I've been able to do the vibrato since I was really small. So it's something that I never have to think twice about. So that's why I can never teach singing lessons. I'm like, I don't know. I just do it.
I don't know. Stomach, like,
It's like the top of your stomach. It's the muscle that raises and lowers your rib cage. Kind of right there. Yeah. It's not your stomach. Yeah.
You are a ridiculously good singer. I love listening to you.
Thank you.
Evan, Monica, what do we have to say? Was there anything I missed on the grapefruit? Where are we at now? I'm having so much fun.
We are still enjoying our grapefruit. I'm just going to talk a little bit about the cucumber. But no, with going back to Reese, you have like a little bit of angel and a little bit of sexy. So it's like kind of combined, it's like super sweet. And it's like, ooh,
there's an angel on your ear. On your shoulder, right? That's what I'm trying to go for.
Well,
okay. Real quick side note on the angel part of Reese. She has, for the entire quarantine, stay at home situation, been live streaming on Sunday evenings at her house, just kind of like what you're seeing, at 7 p.m. And she goes for an hour or whatever, and takes tips and gives them to local nonprofits and kind of a rotating cast of different nonprofits each time. So I just want to say that's the halo for sure.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the horn, Suze. You've seen that side too, bud.
If you want to show us your new ink by the end of the broadcast.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I got some new ink, y'all.
So, real quick, your next live stream is for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah, July 26th. I'm trying to work around both Lauren and I are working and stuff like that. So we're doing Big Brothers Big Sisters on July 26th at 7 p.m. I always tell people give from your bounty, not your reserve. So if you just want to come and hang out and listen to the show, great. And if you can throw a couple dollars, it's always a good cause, and it's always a local org that's putting the work back into our community. That's just kind of how I'm working out this time.
That's why she gets singer-songwriter and amazing human on her ticker.
Yeah, amen.
Well, Suze has worked, and we have on all the stations. At least for me, for Crush and Coast, and I know you with your station, Suze, have worked with Big Brothers Big Sisters, slowbigs.org. They're an incredible organization, and Must Charity stepped in, helped them get a North County thing, and these guys are really a great vehicle. And Monica, you said your daughter actually was a big.
Yeah, my daughter was a big for 3 years, and she started as a sophomore in high school. And I can honestly say that she even says it changed her life. And when she goes to school this fall, she's going to look for the local Big Brother Big Sister organization and keep going. It changed her life.
Mm-hmm. Your understanding is that, and every time we've had the people from Slow Bigs in, it's like, obviously you are making huge waves and improving the life of what they call the young man or young woman. But what doesn't get talked about enough is the life that you're changing in the big, because it is so rewarding and it is like food for the soul to get all up in that. So I love it. This is so much fun. What are we going to do next? The cucumber vodka. It is like, you smell it. It smells like there's cucumbers inside. Now with your wine, the Villicana wine, if I come to your tasting room and go, oh, strawberries or cherries, you're obviously not putting those in the wine, but with spirit, it's a little different.
It's a little bit different. So what we did with the cucumbers, and it really where it started is we were at the farmer's market, and we were talking to one of the growers who's out of AG, and he had a bunch of cucumbers, and we're like, what are you doing with those cucumbers? He's like, I don't know, most of it will end up going, getting towed or whatever, because they had 2 ears and they were mangled, and people just don't like the ugly cucumbers. So Alex is like, okay, well, I'll take them, I'll buy them from you. And so we started playing around. That's how we started playing around with the cucumber. So we literally, now that he grows them for us, and as Adam said, if there's a cucumber shortage in the Central Coast, generally you can look at us. But so they're organic, locally grown cucumbers out of AG. We only make our cucumber vodka in the summer when cucumbers are ripe. We get them like the day that they're harvested. They come here. We hand juice them in Bed Bath & Beyond juicers. We have 4 of them, and that's what we use child labor for. Except we just lost our small one's going to be leaving next month. So but anyway, and we put the fresh cucumber juice and we distill it with the vodka. That's it. So what you all tasted with the vodka with that glycerol, the cool thing about glycerol is it's a binding agent. It will bind to any flavor that you put with it. So the glycerol grabs onto that fresh cucumber and just wraps it around your mouth. And it's we call it cozy small water. You can smell it a mile away. It is fresh cucumber. So it's kind of a fun one to sip and play with, especially in the summertime.
I used to go to this sushi bar in West Hollywood when I lived in Southern California all the time called Sushi Koku. And one of their like specialty cocktails, and it was ridiculously too expensive, was just probably a vodka sitting in a bunch of cucumbers in this fusion and they put it in a dispenser, and you would just get it by the glass or by the little thing, and it was like bomb. You have done that in a bottle. You have done that in a bottle.
It's fabulous. And the cool thing about it, I mean, go to Trader Joe's right now. They have fresh pressed watermelon juice in cans. It's just real watermelon juice. That with this is phenomenal. Sparkling limeade out of Trader Joe's with this. Wow. I mean, it's easy as I mean, it's just, that's all you need to do. It's so great. It's the easiest, freshest, summery spirit out there.
Oh, the cocktail kits are like that too. I mean, it's so easily put together. In my cocktail kit, I got what's coming up next. Yeah. I got a little mix, and all I got to do is mix it with the spirit. I mean, I stirred mine with my finger because I'm ghetto and I'm in the backyard. Adam,
the list said get a shaker, dude.
I know, that was my bad. Reese did her homework. You guys are the good students. I'm not.
Yeah, I read and prepared.
Suze, a picture of the still. I would love to ask Evan how this works, because when you go into Refine, you're able to look, and you can kind of see it in our background. It's a very beautifully stimulating place visually. What are we looking at here, Evan? Because it looks like you're in, some kind of ocean submarine. You got all these windows.
What looks like a giant saxophone.
Yeah, honestly. We get all of that when we have guests come in and they go into the distillery. We get all of that. We get Willy Wonka. We get Jules Verne, 30,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We get the clarinet or the saxophone. So Alex obviously is our head distiller, and so everything I know about the still just comes disseminated down from him. Mostly when I'm doing distilling, what I'm doing is when Alex texts me and he's away somewhere and he says, turn the still off. That's what I'm doing. But I can kind of walk you through the mechanics.
No, let me interrupt you, Evan. Is that what he's doing right there? Because he is in a very handsome pose where he is
Yeah. He's turning the fine steam off there.
Okay.
But no, so you see the windows, Suze, if you could go back to the other picture perfect. So you see the windows on the tall left column there. There are plates in between, and it's called a fractionating column. Basically what it does is it separates out boiling points at less than 1/10 of a degree Celsius in order for us to be able to make very clean cuts and ensure that we have the best spirits at the end of the day. Because there are plates, basically what it's doing is boiling and evaporating between each level, allowing the alcohols to evaporate at slightly different temperatures. And because all alcohol boils at different temperatures, we're able to extract just the ethanol at the specific boiling point where our still is. So that's, in a real short summation, that's it. The still in the center, that's our old still. She's gone now. That was what we used as a stripping still. We now have a new stripping still that we've been doing our last batch. Sorry, Monica, that I'm mentioning this. Last batch of bourbon. Yeah. We're going to have more bourbon in the future, but that's exciting because the bourbon takes a long time to age. So I'm excited that we've got that going through the still now, and we're going to be aging that now in standard barrels, 53-gallon barrels. That's first full-size barrel for us here at Refine.
Awesome.
I love it. So cool. I'm thankful that you explained that to us. There's a couple more pictures that I wanted you to throw up, Suze. First of all, that one with Phil Vassar. Country star Phil Vassar came to town, and I ended up being able to take him to Refine. Monica and Alex were so generous with hosting him. And it was funny because my sister, who like it's like her hall, Phil Vassar's like her hall pass. Like she loves Phil Vassar. And she like drove her ass up here just to like be in the bus and do the Paso tour that I gave him. And I imagine these private tours, these things, Monica, they're very special. And I'm sure you've done so many of them because the situation and the equipment around you is so unique.
Yeah, it's truly a special experience. We get calls, from people all the time that so and so would like to come see it or whatever. And let's be real. People know how to make beer. People know how to make wine. It's something everyone knows. No one knows anything about distilled spirits. And then it's got the coolest, sexiest equipment possible. So you walk in and it's just like, wow, what is going on? And so that's kind of the experience we try to give to every single consumer that comes through in our tasting room is we literally taste them in the distillery where they're in with the equipment, because that's part of the whole thing. We don't have a fancy tasting room with like a big gift shop and all that sort of stuff. You're literally in there with the barrels, with the still, and it's part of the experience that people don't get to see that.
Yeah. We're going to get into the next spirits in a second. I have another surprise guest. I love her. Leanne Standish is from the FPAC. We've had her up before, the Foundation for the Performing Arts Center. Oh, it's so good to see your face. I absolutely love you, Leanne. Lady I Fancy and I love hanging out with her. She's our quarantine couple that we will with. I think that her husband left these at my house, and I've chosen 3 times to wear them, and this is because I had to wear them some nice shades.
They're very good. I think they're yours now.
I was going to say, your husband's not getting those back.
No. Yeah. On Adam, right?
You know what? We've done this, your FPAC events, Leanne, and by the way, thank you for being here and spending time with us. What is it? I mean, obviously you've worked with, you've enjoyed Refined, but also they have been instrumental with us working with FPAC and the work that you and your team do in being philanthropic and very generous.
Yeah, and we're so grateful, Monica. Thank you so much. It's really part of what makes the FPAC event so special is that we do serve spirits, and that doesn't happen at all the events. And as a newcomer to town, which I still call myself that, although I've been here 4 years now, I felt really awkward because I wasn't a wine person. So I was so delighted that Refined existed and that you've supported us, and our donors are deeply grateful. I also want to say thank you to Reese, who not long ago sang for us at the chamber dinner.
Yeah, we did like a song bomb with brass mash during your speech. That was so much fun. I was about to say that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah. Gosh, I love our community is so talented.
Right? Too much. I mean, we're talking about 6 people just right here who just love the stuffing out of this area and everything we're about. And I look at Reese and talking about her, singing for all different kinds of charities. I mean, she's not even just like, someone of her talent could pick one charity and just give everything to it. But she says, like, no, what does the community need? And I just love it. And Leanne, it's so great to see you. How have you been through everything? How's FPAC doing?
FPAC is good. The PAC is, as you know, we're not going to be in the theater for a while, which is really weird. But
Can I come play the organ? Just let me come play the organ then.
There we go.
I want to play Axel F on the organ. I'm like, da, 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 da.
Excellent.
Right? What was the song that we played at the gala? I can't think of it now. Everybody say.
I can't remember now. Was it Heart and Soul? I don't remember now. I don't remember.
It's gone from my mind, but it'll come to me later. But anyway, yeah, so the PAC is on pause for a little bit. We are going to celebrate the PAC's 25th anniversary next fall in September. So you want to talk, and plus we'll be shuttered until then or close to then, or hopefully not that long, but it'll be one heck of a blowout party.
Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. I am honored to sit on your committee and just listen to what this committee of ladies, and it's just Todd and I are the only guys on there, but like what you guys are capable of doing. You can dream something up, and this crazy committee can actually put it in front of your eyes when it comes to event date. And you consistently blow me away, and the heart that you guys have for the arts. The arts is one of those things that I've talked about this before. It's like if because look, we have like over 1,100 charities on the Central Coast. There's a lot of nonprofits. We have a lot of big hearts here, and there's cancer, there's homeless, there's so many things that tug at your heart. And art sometimes I worry gets put aside because it's not curing a disease or anything. But when you put the arts in front of an underprivileged young man or woman, you can spark something in them that will change that life forever. So I truly believe in it, and what you guys do, I will always be a supporter of you. And I want to thank you for you've always supported the stations and Coast, and so I love you being here. So thank you for dropping in on us.
My pleasure.
Your programming there is phenomenal. I mean, it's like you get the thing and you look at it, you're like, I want that, and that, and that, and that. It's phenomenal.
Like, I now just live at the Pack the whole year.
Yeah.
It's so good. We're so lucky to have it here in this community. It's really remarkable.
Well, I'm gonna hit you up. I want to play Heart and Soul, like the big song, like dun 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 dun. I want to play that on your organ.
No, I think the Axel F, dude. I think that's where it's at.
Yeah, I'm gonna play Axel F. Thank you, Leanne, for being here. I love you, and we'll see you soon.
Love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Love it. Leanne is one of the absolute best. We got
just so cool, Monica, that you guys reach out into the community like that. You know, it's just a whole other, like, that's your halo, right?
As Adam said, there's so many people doing so many good things, and it's like everyone has their own little talent, their own little thing that their niche that they're good at, and if we could support what the great work other people are doing, that's phenomenal. Proud to be part of this community, really proud.
So we have more spirits and cocktails and music, and it's like 5 till. So can we all agree that we're gonna continue? We're gonna extend the happy hour. It really is extra, right?
It is extra
because we've only been through one spirit and one cocktail.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So what's next? We're doing gin.
Ev, take it away. Let's have Ev make the cocktail, and then we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Are we going on to the cocktail, or do we want to talk either?
I'm kind of empty.
You're kind of empty. All right. Everybody feeling kind of right now?
Drink for sure.
All right. We're going spirit forward on this one. We're going major spirit forward. I think we doubled the amount of alcohol we're putting in this. So everybody put on your seatbelts. This is, we're going to stick with the vodka. Like Monica said, we're going to kind of keep it light and summery. So we're sticking with the vodka on this one. We're doing the citrus in the grass. This is with our muddled and wild syrup. So we're putting 6 ounces of vodka into, 6 ounces of vodka into
you guys
this one.
Notice I gave you a half one too. You guys have put 3 in case you wanted a half.
Yeah, you can go half. If you don't have someone to share with, you can go half.
I don't know if I need 6 ounces of vodka.
It's Friday and I don't have to drive home because I am at home. So let's do this.
There we go. Do it.
You're in.
Here.
Just remember, you have to do the outro there, Reese.
Oh yeah, it's all right. I do my best work when autopilot is in charge.
That's right. So this is another kind of like a sour on this one. We're doing 2, 1 of the spirit to the mixer, and then of course your sour with the lime juice, and we're pouring this up as a martini. And look at that perfect pour. Are we ready to cheers?
Okay, wait, don't forget your garnish, your lavender garnish.
So I got my lavender.
Lavender garnish.
Ooh, I made a lot of this. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'm behind.
Throw it in the freezer.
How much do you do?
10 seconds, cheers. 10 seconds.
Ooh, it smells so good.
Do that like
Feels
speed
like
shake.
that Master Chef here.
So the
Clock
shake is
is
actually
timing
really important because the ice in the shaker is actually an ingredient in the cocktail that most people don't account on.
Right, like it breaks up some of the mixer and like the booze and
It dilutes it.
Oh my gosh, Adam.
It dilutes it as well.
Hand over the container.
Stirring.
And
okay.
it also
to be honest,
dilutes it. The water dilutes
One year for Christmas, Monica gave me a refined shaker that has like leather. It's beautiful, and I have it upstairs. I just forgot it, so I
Oh man, that lavender in there too just gives it such a different nose.
Freshness on the nose.
The fact that we can make cocktails like Andrew or Tony Bennett or Josh at Sidecar would put together in our house with these partners that Refined has found that really matches their spirit so well is so cool, especially for the time we're in, right? I mean, we can have great cocktails at home.
And you don't have to have obscure ingredients, because that's the worst thing. Like, you get a spirit and you're like, or you see a recipe and you're like, I want to make that. And then you're like, what is that? And then you don't have it. So it's cool that you don't need obscure ingredients.
Yeah, I really like this drink, you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, it's got that little bit of ginger bite in there.
The lemongrass is so good.
Ice cold in the summertime, really refreshing. And that's the thing, you know, by finding these great little craft mixers, we're taking 3 or 4 steps or 3 or 4 different things that you would otherwise be buying at the store, the specific bitters and all of the syrups and everything that you'd be otherwise adding as components in a cocktail. And we make effectively 2-part cocktails most of the time, where it's add the syrup, add the spirit, shake, and pour. And really trying to create that craft cocktail at home without having to have all the gear to do it.
While we have this cocktail in the glass, can we hit some of the other spirits, Monica? What should we be?
The next one will be the gin. So go ahead and find your gin, your bottle of gin. And basically, you know, the reason why I started with the vodka and went pretty heavy on the explanation of the vodka is the vodka is the base of all of these spirits. So it's the base of the cucumber. We just added fresh organic cucumber. It's the base of the gin. We've just added juniper berries. So in order for a gin to be gin, it has to have a neutral spirit, and then it has to have a botanical flavoring of which juniper is the dominant source. So juniper, we also have 6 other botanicals in there because Alex is a vintner. He's looking into nice light layering. It's not heavy on your palate. It's clean, like Andrew and Tony were saying. Clean, but you get the essence of the flavors on that. So basically the vodka that we then add the flavorings, and again, the glycerol is a huge factor, and that it grabs on all the flavors and it just wraps it around your mouth like that.
It's so amazing that when someone breaks it down in such a simplistic way and you want to understand how this works, neutral, odorless, colorless vodka. You add the juniper heaviness, now that is a gin. And then, and then probably, I'm guessing we'll talk about oak influence, and then you're talking in the whiskey realm. It's amazing how the beginnings, the roots of all this can be similar. It's whatever you're distilling down, right?
Yeah, it's whatever you're distilling down. And the most important thing is the quality of your base alcohol. So you're sitting here with everything. This is the quality. It's something you drank as a vodka and you enjoyed as a vodka. Now we're taking that and we're just layering it with nuances of other things. So that's why when people come to our tasting room to taste the spirits, we always start them with the vodka, whether they want to try the vodka or not, because the fact is this is the base of what we make. You need to taste how clean it is, and then you can understand something like this.
Like if I go to a tasting room, the worst thing they can say to me is, "You're going to try this vodka."
Yeah, you have to have it.
And I was like, twist my arm.
I always recommend that when guests come in to taste with us, because like Monica said, you know, vodka is what most people think. But if they're going to other places, other distilleries, whether here or any time they're going to taste in a distillery, if a distillery has a neutral spirit, I always recommend they taste it, because that is showing the quality of the distiller in its most naked form. We pour these neat at room temperature. We're not hiding anything, and you get to see in the vodka how clean that is. So then when you go on to the cucumber and you taste that, you know that the cucumber isn't being put in there just to cover up the poor distillation that's happening with the vodka. So that's...
It's key, actually, Evan, especially with the gin, because gin, there's varying levels of gin, right? I mean, there's a reason why a lot of times you don't feel very good the next day with the gin. And a lot of times it's because that base spirit for the gin was just covered up with juniper. Juniper is about as powerful of a flavor and smell as you can get. And you can take very poorly distilled alcohol, cover it with the gin while you're drinking it. It tastes like a gin, but then your body is spending all night cleaning that up, whether you had one or however many. So it's really important. If you go to a distillery and you do not like their neutral spirit, don't go further. Don't go further.
Great point.
That's a pro-life tip right there.
I love the realization on Reese's face as you're saying all of that.
Yeah.
I was looking at it too. I was looking at Reese also. That's so funny.
And then the other thing, when we're talking about the gin, that I think Alex had a particular benefit with is that he comes from the background of being a winemaker, right? And so when he was designing the gin, he treated the design of the gin as he did blending a wine. So he started, obviously he's soaking juniper, but he soaked all the different botanicals he considered using and then started blending it as if he was blending a wine to put in a bottle. And that's where you get that nuance. You get the beginning, the mid palate, and the finish with it. So that it's not just that single note of juniper that so much of us know London dry style gin have.
You know what I will say, the wine country being an influence of whatever other drinks that we produce is so important. And I'm basing this off that great point that you just made, Evan. I remember doing an interview with Matt Brindleson, who's the brewmaster for Firestone. They know a thing or two about good beer, right? And these guys are taking over the freaking world. And I asked Matt Brindleson, I go, what kind of influence? And I didn't know what kind of answer I was going to get. In fact, I kind of asked the question thinking he would say they have nothing to do with each other. I said, what is the influence you have as a brewmaster being in wine country, being in a world-class wine country? And he said, it's everything. It's everything. It's so important. The winemakers he knows, the conversations he's had, the blending trials he's tasted on. Like literally the reason that Matt Brindleson, of course, he's a hop scientist, he's a genius, but that wine making acumen plays in the wine country we live in, plays into the beer that is now 805 DBA. You know, I mean, it plays a role, and that is so cool. And I think that played, really pretty to what you just, perfectly noted.
I love that you, Adam, real quick. I love that you bring up Firestone while we're talking to these guys, and I know we weren't really like featuring it today, but they just like released a brand new wheat whiskey, and they worked with Firestone on this.
Yeah, so I mean, the whole thing with this, at the community in whole is everyone works with everyone, and so we've done actually a few fundraiser things with Firestone Walker, and so anyway, we've been working with them, and they are exclusive. They exclusively make our base for our rye whiskey. We get literally tanker trucks filled with their unhopped beer comes in here. And it's like our son came home from college and he was like, what is that? Beer, like holy smokes. But yeah, they're making the beer for us that we then distill into whiskey. So they're making all of our rye, all of our bourbon, and then as just said, our wheat whiskey that we just released this week.
I love it. So let's get into, speaking of whiskey, the refined. We have a lot of barrel influenced spirits. And the one I have here is the E. And I know you have some other ones here. This is, I'm guessing, just, Monica, Evan, we're talking about influence of oak, right?
Yeah.
So basically, again, we started with this. And then when Alex would empty out the barrels with the rye whiskey, he then pumped in the neutral vodka straight into the barrels and let it sit. And then it comes out looking like a whiskey. But surprisingly, it also tastes like a whiskey. But that glycerol, once again, wraps around the barrel, pulls it all out, and then just see the most beautiful mouthfeel on this spirit.
Oh, man. And this could, I could make my Manhattan with this, right? I could make my old fashioned with this.
Without a doubt. Yeah, I often say of the brown spirits that we make, this is my cocktail whiskey. So if I'm going to be making a Manhattan, an old fashioned, a Sazerac, any classic whiskey cocktail, I absolutely love using this for the same reason that we've been talking about, glycerol. So you're putting the components into your cocktail, and that glycerol helps carry the flavor across the palate, unlike a grain-based spirit would. And it's amazing when you're tasting this against the rye or the bourbon or the wheat, how much character in whiskey truly just comes from the barrel. And you get such a whiskey component because we are aging it in those whiskey barrels.
Love this. That's Evan explaining all about this. You call it E, Monica? E.
Yeah, we call it E because it's kind of like a whiskey, but it's not, because a whiskey has to be grain-based. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And so this is grape-based, so there's no way it can categorize as a whiskey. So we kind of call it an E. It's kind of a wink, tastes like a whiskey, but it's really not. And it's our barrel.
It really is, though. I mean, it really, to me, it really is, because it's going in my Manhattan, it's going in my old fashioned. So obviously, legal this, legal that. I don't care. When I'm tasting it, this is a beautifully oak aged spirit. This is, by all accounts, in my brain and my palate, going to go in my Manhattan. I'm good to go.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I love it. Very good. Do we have any more to taste, or where are we at?
That's it for today. Just finished.
Yeah. Nice.
This is so much fun. If people want to get a hold of you guys, want to come up and taste, I know because of everything COVID related, we talked about this at the beginning of the broadcast. We're tweaking a little bit so we can be more appointment oriented. But I've talked to my friends in the wine business too, and you guys know this from your experience as being a successful and acclaimed winery. The appointment tasting is bringing in a more deliberate consumer and a person who's really all about what you're about.
Yeah.
I'd agree. I mean, Evan can speak more to it because I think that even on our end, on the behind the bar scene, we're enjoying the experience a lot more as well, because the mayhem of people just kind of coming at you and you're just pouring and that sort of thing, that's gone. It's now an intense, it's tasting. It's an actual tasting. It's a conversation. And it's awesome from our side as well, but we are getting tons of reviews and people are sending me emails left and right. Great experience. And I love it. I think the reservation, I think for us, will probably stick even post-COVID.
Yeah. Refineddistillery.com is the website. You can see the ticker. Suzanne, I had to give you a virtual kiss on the forehead and a hug. You are the absolute best.
Great job.
But
Thank you.
When Sue steps into something, and we do these cork dork things on the other station, and when Jeremy's not around, Suze becomes the other cork dork, and I love working with her. And she throws it down. And she is the program director of the Post. I am so happy about that you were able to do this and chose to do this. So thank you. I love you.
Yeah. Next time we all get together, I'm hearkening back to Monica saying she wanted to bring Alex's senior picture. We should all bring our senior pictures.
Oh, boy.
You know what? I would love to do this again in a month.
I veto that.
Yeah. Well, that means I want to see yours.
Yeah, right. I want to see it even more. It's either that or you're going to have to show us your driver's license picture.
How about we do this in a month and we bring our senior pictures?
Totally do it. And I'm not going to tell Alex.
Reese, I want to see your senior picture.
Oh my God, I love it. Well, you're going to love when you see my senior picture. Remember, everybody was allowed to get a quote, like in our high school.
Right. Yeah.
My quote, I didn't take it seriously at all. And you are going to love my quote. I'm going to save it till next time. It is going to make you know that I am, all the idiot that you thought I was. So
just reinforcing. I love it. Do we? Can we do one more song, or are we?
Reese, are you down? I would love to do even medley into two if you're down. I would love to just end this on some beautiful music with a beautiful cocktail. Evan, thank you so much for explaining everything you did to us. I can't thank you enough.
Thank you.
Refined is lucky to have you. Obviously, you are very lucky to work at a place like that. What a great relationship. So thank you for being here, Evan.
Thank you. My pleasure. It's such a blast.
And Monica, working with you behind the scenes, on and off, you and Alex are so great on the air, but you're so sweet and so kind off the air. Thank you for always supporting, like even the philanthropic things that I'm about. Oh my God, don't even do the cute picture. Oh my God, they're too cute. That's like their Distillery prom picture. Look how much they love each other. It's so awesome. I love it. Too cute.
We met in college, right?
You met in college?
Oh, you guys, Alex is on. Alex is on.
What?
No way.
Oh.
I love it.
I love it. I love it.
We're not going to be able to surprise him now with the picture.
Well, we called Alex the Dick Clark of the wine and spirits industry. Monica and Alex are the cutest couple ever. Look at that. Oh my God. Look how much she loves him. Look how much she loves. Oh, he is so lucky to have you, Monica. And you guys are so cute. We love you guys. Look at that.
She's
Stop.
All right. All right, Reese.
Hey, refinedistillery.com. Get your tasting on. Next time we do this, we're going to have senior pictures. We better have Alex here too. Evan, Monica, love you both. Suzanne, you're the absolute bomb. You're OG. Reese, play us out. What does this mean, play us out? We'll do it live. Go ahead.
Thank you, guys.
Show me how you do that trick, the one that makes me scream, she said, the one that makes me laugh, she said, and threw her arms around my neck. Show me how you do it, and I promise you, I'll run away with you, I'll run away with you. Spinning on that dizzy edge, I kissed her face and I kissed her head, and dreamed of all the different ways I had to make her glow. Why are you so far away? She said, why won't you ever know that I'm in love with you, that I'm in love with you. You, soft and lonely, you, lost and lonely, you, strange as angels, dancing in the deepest ocean, twisting in the water. You're just like a dream, you're just like a dream. To shape, I must have been asleep for days, and moving lips to breathe her name. I opened up my eyes, found myself alone amidst a raging sea that stole the only girl I love and drowned her deep inside of me. You, lost and lonely, you, just like heaven.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
Right?
That's the one.
Reese Galido. ReeseGalido.com is the website. And can we find all of your info and all the philanthropic journeys? I mean, all the things you've been up to there, or what?
Yeah, there, or on my Facebook. That's where I post, usually every Thursday before I'm going to go live with information. I try to tag the org and, get them fired up. And then I just like to surprise them the next day with a donation,
I love it.
Cool.
I love it. I hope you come back with us again.
Absolutely.
I would love to do this. Oh, Alex Villicana says he'll be here with this senior picture. And his senior picture, he probably looks like a sperm. Who knows? I mean, like, you look so young already. It's crazy. Alex, we missed you, buddy. Obviously, you saw the way that this went down.
You just said that, dude.
It's
Oh God.
What's cool? Evan, Monica, love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know. I mean, do you want to do another one, Reese? I just love hearing you.
Sure, yeah, I can do one.
Adam, this is like at the end of the night, and Adam doesn't want to go home. Like they're like turning the lights on at the bar, and he's like, "No,
no programming hours. We can just keep this going all night."
Hey, I got one for you, Adam.
Okay, let's do one more if that's cool with everybody, and then we'll wrap up. refinedistillery.com, reesegalido.com, and please bless us with one more a little nugget of your infinite talent.
All right, you
Thanks
got it.
for having us.
I don't love her. I tried to tell myself, but you can see it in my eyes. So don't deny, I can't fool no one else. The truth is in the tears I cry. 'Cause if it is love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? If it is love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love, whoa, whoa, whoa. Does it feel? I can't describe this feeling that came when I saw her last night. She got to me, I can't describe the reason. I saw her with another guy. So if it is love, why does it feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? If it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love, whoa, whoa, whoa. If it is, if it is, if it is, if it isn't love. 'Cause if it is love, why do I feel this way? Why does she stay on my mind? If it isn't love, why does it hurt so bad? Make me feel so sad inside. If it isn't love, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 if it isn't love. That's for you, Adam. I knew you wanted that one.
I love that. I have another friend who loves New Edition. I just took a video of that and sent it to him. Like, I mean, I know the choreography of that video because you know that.
Why aren't you doing it?
It's a bunch of this and like turning around.
Yeah, and then like dipping the mic stand down and bringing it back up. You know.
The best.
Well, look we ran ridiculously long. I have to thank both of you, both Refined and Reese, for your time. Thank you so much, Refined Distillery, Monica and Evan. It means so much that you did this Coast Extra Happy Hour. And this, God, if every happy hour could be like this truly was an extra happy hour.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess we put the extra on there, so we disclaimer that it was probably going to be a little extra.
Thank you for having us.
Oh,
yeah, awesome.
So much. And the kits, you got to go to Refined Distillery, make an appointment for a tasting, and then next time we'll try this in a month or so. Let's do it again and get this kit. I know some people got the kit so they could do this with us. So much fun. And Reese, for all the stuff you're doing, go to reesegalido.com. You could see all the local nonprofits that she is using her God-given talent to support. There is nothing cooler than that. To use your talents to support good. I see Refine doing that with what my work with FPAC. I see you doing that with your voice. It is just so special. So thank you, everyone, for being here tonight.
Thank you all.
All right. You guys are awesome. Love you guys. Oh, cheers.
Do you still have them?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to refined.
Cheers to all of y'all. All y'all. What do I think? I'm from Texas or something?
All y'all.
All y'all. All y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Oh,